Welcome, everyone. Nice to be here. What's a great experience? Every room is different. With the first one, I had the internet collapse. With the second, I was very quick. We'll see what happens here. I would need to share the screen. So, Filipe, you are hosting or? Yeah, but I can share. Okay, I have an option. Thank you. Shall we wait more? Yeah. So I would just want to say, when we are waiting, say, Susanna, thank you very much for inviting me to this meeting. It's really very interesting. Also talk about the art and resilience as such.
You're welcome.
I had to redefine many concepts in the last days. It was quite interesting. We are still waiting, isn't it?
Yes, Aditya is missing from our group.
From your side, I would like just to know who of you is like psychologist or is like neurobiologist or or artist.
Okay, I am psychologist and artist both.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Rasmus, you want to say something?
Like, I would just say I'm working with art-based coaching. So, and I'm not sure whatever, and then I guess I'm an educator in a way, but with aesthetics. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So we have experts in our team, in our group. It's really great. And another one too. We don't have much time to have a round, just to want to get a feeling a little bit who is with us. It's like, I will try, I'm an art therapist and artist myself. I have experience of working in a clinic with inpatients for many years. I took part in some congresses, blah, 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 blah. Then I started my own practice, and I'm a practitioner. I'm not a researcher, even though I have met many of them. So maybe the things that I will share with you, which I will share with you, PowerPoint presentation, I hope that at least will raise some questions to you. And then we'll have a space, I hope, to talk and asking a question. Is it that right for you guys? Okay, so the last minutes of the meetings, then I'll share the screen. I cannot share the screen, which host disable attended screen sharing. So sooner or later, I can share the screen maybe. No, still I cannot share the screen. So the topic that still I cannot, I think maybe you need to, Filipe, make me a host or accept my request to share the screen. I'm right now in Berlin. It's very warm. And I just recently, I can share the screen, the victory of this moment. I'm very happy about that. So here we go. My name is Dagna Gmitrowicz. How art making builds resilience, blah, blah. Very nice already, very good with the resilience. You know what it is. Just for myself, it was very important to understand that those two elements of the resilience in this, that this is dynamic process, and that's a negotiation between the individuals and environments. And to me, that's where art really plays a very crucial role. And in that presentation, I would share with you kind of basics, which took me a while to come back to the basics. I guess it's quite important. Still, it's just a very little element in a very wide topic, which is the resilience. So, okay, I will try to talk only about the art, still being aware that's just a piece of a bigger picture, isn't it? Okay? So, and then my presentation will go into the, it was the art making, but to me, art is a perception of art and creation. Together, it's art making. So I'll talk with you about the perception of art, then about the creation, individual, collective, and then I will try to close it with the participatory community-based art as such, because to me, this is very important, building the resilience as such, okay? All right. Thank you, Susanna, for noting I will look at you, and when you say yes, then I will go further on. It means that it's clear. So, I mean, perception of art, and again, it's something that we are totally aware of, but that's very important to still be aware of it and to put into our consciousness. Our brain is perceiving things, and our brain wants to understand what is there. And maybe it's nothing very important, but it is, because really it matters. We try to empathize and understand the things that are out there, which means that we are watching the art, we are perceiving the art, because now I want to talk about the perception of art. It makes us feel differently. It provokes in us sadness, happiness, powerfulness. So it matters what we are watching. It really does, no? And of course, art is provoking emotions. And this is why we are entering this art making process as such. It's super important about that we are like a sponge. So art is provoking. So if I have in my room the image, which is this or that, that will provoke my feeling. And if that image is provoking something that makes me sad, my resilience will be not empowered as well as the powerful image. It's very, very interesting in that sense. So now I will invite you to a very short exercise. I would like to, you will see the 8 images, and I like you to choose the one image that, this makes me not good, and one, okay, it's neutral, it's okay, okay? So let's look at them. It will be 8 images from A to H. So choose 2, okay? The one you like, or neutral, or one you don't like. So what image? If you would have this image on the wall, would make you happy? Or maybe this image when you would have on your wall will make you more happy. Or maybe not at all. Maybe this painting. How would you react to this one? How would you react to that one? To this one? To this one? Or to that one? No? So my question would be only you, if you see a difference, did you manage to choose the one that really would be difficult to live with and one that's at least neutral? If you can say with your head, yes or no. Yeah. I mean, that's a very simple thing. And imagine that's really, guys, matter. What we have in office, what we have out there, what we present to our clients, what we have there in the back, because it really provokes the feelings. Why? Let's go there then. Basic on neuroscience, because we react to the things in the same way how we react to the food or the ones that we love or hate. You know, we feel the feelings, we need something. So if we look at something that provokes a joy, something that we need and it's harmonic and beautiful, that will provoke the pleasure. If something is that we somehow cannot resonate with, and this is asking very difficult, automatically, unconsciously, our brain will ask us to run away by, of course, like provoking different hormones. So that's super important to be aware of that. If we are surrounded by super difficult images, our subconscious would like to squeeze this feeling. Adrenaline will be like stimulated and will try to find run away as far as possible, even though it's still closed office. So this really matters where we go and what we choose and what we have around us. It's just very interesting thing. This is a new thing, which is resilience in art. They're already from resilient art from some years. This is one group, but they really stand for the art as a beauty and aesthetic only, and they're against the political action and such. Interesting. So they say that the artist, the music, whatever it is, they have responsibility to share with people something that's building their growth, the action. I will discuss with it, but anyway, just to let you know that it's there. So perception of art, very quickly, of course, it's an information. So by choosing different art, the music, the performance, we can get informed, and through the art, we can inform the others. There are very interesting links here. Later I can share with you those. It's the Art of Resilience art, very interesting piece, collection of the art, which is making a difference in building the resilience. Of course, in the COVID, we will not open this topic, but there's a massive art, the collection of art, the reaction of the people, what they have produced as a recognition, as voicing the things, is massive. This is how we cope with difficult moments. This is how we naturally react. And also, as receivers of art, we can be called to do something. So we can be called to eat meat or not to eat meat, or we can be called to do the things. So as a receiver, we can choose the places and then like institutions or the events that will provoke something in us. And it's important to make them consciously, all right? So that was about
I'm sorry, Dagna. Palma asked if you can speak just a bit slower. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I can speak slower. So coming back, that's, I was trying, very much, thank you very much. I'm trying to squeeze. So that was about the perception. I just wanted to show you that the perception matters, and what we listen to, what we are reading, what we are watching really matters and provokes something in our body and our brain to, like, makes particular behaviors later on, okay? So we should do that consciously. Creation individually, that's this art making. So we can art make individually. And then we have these two interesting processes. So we have a process which is intrapersonal, intermediary. So intrapersonal process, this is me in a contact with the art, okay? This is me and art, and this is inside and outer. This is the connection. So this is the relation that we have. But there's also this process which is intermediary, which is that I'm not in a bubble, I'm in a wider context, which means I'm surrounded by the colors, by the people, by the temperature, by the sounds. So this surrounding matters. So whatever art we do in a context. So it's always the same process, which is here with the art. Is it music, is it writing, is it painting, and the context that we are surrounded by. So it really matters where we do that, right? Let's go there. Another very important process that I want to mention, and the basic one, this is as a therapist, I'm working with it mainly as therapists, is this dissociation, association of the things. And in art, it's very interesting because when I have a problem, issue, whatever, I put it from me out there. So I dissociate it, and then I look at it, maybe I transform it, and then I put it back. So I associate, integrate it back within me. And this process is a healing process on and on, if we're aware of it, how to do that. And I mean, this is also may happen naturally or not. Shortly, I will tell you. So we have, it's quite interesting to be aware of this, like different environments or the context or factors that they have impact on the art making process. I want to provoke you a little bit with two things. The one thing is like not really just a confirmation. Say Frida Kahlo, she's an artist, blah, blah, super. And she used her paintings as making resilience. She was suffering a lot, and she was underlying that the painting was making her life full. So like she was like putting, externalizing, dissociating the paint out there, transforming and integrating by showing and receiving this by the other people and comments. Interesting. This is also how she was expressing the love, the anger, the political issues, right? So that's a communication. There's also another person, which is Virginia Woolf, which finally committed suicide, that she was totally like she was deep into the creation, and that was her space, and no one was taking out her from there. So somehow her resilience, that's a question, was art building resilience in her way or not? And just one thing, there's a big list, and there are many more people, artists, that committed really suicide. Why I'm saying it's sad, it is sad. What I'm saying, the art is not universal tool to recover. Art is a tool, and through art we can grow and we can die, and it's important to know. And that's what I'm saying is, when we are talking about the art making and resilience, so this empowerment and like growth and healing, it's good when it's in dialogue, in togetherness, at least that we can share it with the others. And coming back to the process, I will try to slow down. So to go to the process, I was mentioning that when we work individually, it's this intrapersonal, so it's me and art, it's intermediary, so me and the context, and it's interpersonal, so we are in a triangle. So it's a me, the artwork, and a group, and a therapist, and a coach, or a client. So this is the surrounding, and this is the process that we are based on, and here we can make different intervention on these different levels. It's important to understand that. And of course, the visual expression becomes a language that the two people can talk to each other. And this process does not focus on solidarity or creator. Contrary, it opens dialogue with other creators. And through dance, as you know, through writing, through painting, we can ask questions, discuss, disagree, and reflect if we are in dialogue. And there are different tools. I'm not a dancer, I'm not a musician. I don't know how to do this there, but I'm a visual artist. And for example, we can ask open-ended questions and close-ended questions also visually. So this is the visual question, and this is the visual question. And one of them would be the open-ended question, and one of them would be closed-ended question, which is more focused. You see a difference? This could be, of course, open-ended question, which means that we go freely with, and this could be more focused question, like around some topics. So we bring the focus to the process. So by this very simple exercise, you see how powerful dialogue within art is. And what I've been doing and I was proving within my work, everyday work, is this visual dialogue. Like when we co-create together, there is this conversation through art. And this also, it might be very healing. This mainly happens in dance, where you dance together. It could be happening also when you play together, this togetherness in a way of conversation. And this is a beautiful tool that you can develop and to grow. And this is building the resilience, really. All right. Then when we talk about the resilience, it's very important to talk about this defense mechanisms, those strategies. I mean, every one of us suffered something, has a life story. And on our life, in our life, we have developed several strategies so we can cope with reality. And some of those strategies are great and we should keep them. And some of those strategies, sometimes for some people, are putting them back. And maybe this is something that we could work with, that maybe I could work with if I find some mechanism, which maybe it's not anymore supporting me in my life. And for that, you can use as art as such, still in a dialogue, but dialogue could be also the tool. For example, could be the cards like this one. This is the same face expressing different defense mechanism by which when you work with those cards, draw on them and change them, you can unconsciously work on the process as such. Because what is important in that process is that you take a thing, you express, you transform it, and then you put it back. I mean, I will show you just, that's one card that I would propose you to work on every day. This is scope cards, just an example. Here's like my work with impatience. This was the poster for the Congress that we have shared. It was evidence-based kind of research. It seems very simple, but in fact, it was very powerful process with 3 impatience. Śmierć here on the top means death. So it's like this is, I just wanted to underline, because I'm a visual artist, that's the main thing that I'm talking about is, it's like, so by expressing something what is difficult and just changing the background, we transform, we change the perspective of the perceived problem of the situation. And this can transform later on into something totally different. So this is the kind of healing, developing or building resilience process. But also what those different processes you may see here, what techniques you use, I will talk in the techniques about soon later, but what is very important that this is in the process, and as a person that is leading, facilitating or taking part in it, we try to transform the thing to bring more light and harmony and beauty, and that would support our resilience as such, or healing. No? And here it's like coming slowly to the end now. It's like I wanted to put together something what might be very obvious for you, which is what is building the resilience through art making. And this is improving individual coping mechanisms. So I was already telling you that we have different mechanisms that cope and we try to protect ourselves, self-confidence and self-esteem, of course, but also distraction from negative thoughts. Those outcomes are evidence-based outcomes from different researches. that I have collected. So it's not only my reflection, this is really how the art works as such. Of course, relaxation and mediation between inner and outer world. Do you remember when I was talking about this relationship between those two words? And working, developing this relation, expression of difficult feelings and transforming them. Again, it's not enough to express, it should something happen, because if we put something out, something in will jump in. So it's important to somehow take care what this would be, what we put back inside of us through art. So what would be then instead of this, what we expressed. So reducing depression by improvements in flow and spontaneity, which is important. Building positive identity. I didn't talk about this too much, but art connects us to ourselves by different techniques, and we can understand better ourselves. Awakening physical and mental activity through dance, and building social capital, inclusion, and connectedness. This is, and many more. What helps really, and this is what I want to focus right now, whenever you do this kind of action, I think those are quite basic things. And this list is just a beginning, should be much longer. But those are like proved things. What helps really in this kind of process is the richness of resources, equipment, and space. I'm not saying overloading with most expensive materials or overloading with best ever music. What I'm saying, diversity of the tools that we have. So there is a choice. If we invite a person, we invite ourselves. Just I'm sitting in front of a paper and I push myself into that, even though I don't want it, it will not bring a healing. It will bring a frustration. So what is important is a richness and sense of a choice. It's important to, if you have a studio, if you have a room that you're working as a coach, for example, I'm sure you have, that you are surrounded by very different medium, which are not overloaded, but there are somewhere they're accessible, right? Also the sounds, the body, maybe instrument, but maybe that, maybe here. So surrounding, which is simultaneity, harmonic, respect, and free from interruptions, and it's important. You know that. And very often we know it, and then we don't do it because we don't have a time. It matters. It's clinically proved. The surrounding really matters that we choose for the art making. Of course, the time. There's enough time that the person can be absorbed by the process. Safety, and what is interesting that it is that we can repeat the action. So it's something what is on a regular basis, once a week, once a month, something that may come back, that we can have access to it. It really helps in the resilience building. Then free articulation. So sometimes some people, they have this urge, okay, I need to explain everything what I did, and this means that and that. Make it free. Sometimes it's super important to explain, sometimes not at all. Give it time to understand what really happened. Not everything has to be reflected on the spot directly. So this free articulation. So incorporating the elements of the culture of the client, which is very important. Whatever religion have, it's just if needed, of course. Transforming outcomes of art making into other elements invested with making. Sometimes we create this stuff and then we change it, like a mandalas maybe you do, and then you change into talisman and you take an image. It matters, it's working. These artifacts, they really work, and it's proved. Promotion of mature coping strategies as a humor, it's really important in the joy and the passion in that process. Of course, with a kind of awareness in which process are we. Being aware of here and now, social roles and cultural context, which is especially when I was working with psychotic patients, it's like you cannot put everyone in a fantasy and flowing and disconnection. It's important to connect to here and now. That's a table, that's a room, that's me, that's a paper, okay? That's a square, and this is triangle, and that's a sound, this and that. How do you feel? So it's important to root people in here and now, right? Not to fly away, because this flying away might be very dangerous, and then the person may never come back. What is also important to store the outcomes of the work, which basically you surely know, and to look back and review the process from time to time. These are your questions that I got. I think that some of them I already have answered in this or other way. Is there any question which is from you and you still think that should be answered? I didn't speak too much about the techniques of art. That's a question, should I more paint or how to start? I would say start with a passion where your heart goes. So it's like start with someone. It's like start with a tool that you are curious about, and this will give you back the energy. And diversity. So this would be my answer. I would never say start with this or start with that, because it really depends on the context and the person, and there are too many changing things. Is there another question you have from that you would like me to answer?
Just to tell you, we have few minutes left.
Okay.
So,
okay. So just
it's 3:05.
Okay. So just at the end, I wanted to sum it up and closure with this participatory art, which is community-based art, because I was saying about the perception and making art. And also now I would like to end up as a togetherness. So together we can make the art, and together this is building the resilience. And lots of things, an artist, and everyone is a creator, inviting the others to mutual creation is building the resilience as such. And there are lots of different examples of that. And the one which I want to finish is this resilient kit. I find it very interesting example of one artist. It's on this gallery, the art of resilience.art. It's like she has designed the kit, how to design the house that was already kind of in a ruin, in a way that it's helping feeling good, that there is a space for culture and art expression. And this kit was going from a people to the people that are opening and designing the house, how it should look like, and building the space. So I mean, we have many different ways. How can we support the communities, ourselves, through the art, building the resilience, through the music and the literature and so on. So from my side, that would be all. Thank you for this being with me. And do you have any comments or anything that I can quickly?
I have one, very quick. So let's say I'm in a difficult situation, personal, and I am doing this visual dialogue with somebody because I am practicing this with somebody. How I'm trying to get something concrete. How is that moment or that practice, because you mentioned that we need to do it often, this practice. So let's say I'm doing this every week. How is this visual dialogue helping me to not break down inside psychologically and to get out of my situation? It doesn't have to be very conscious, but with personal growth.
I would say there are like many factors that matters. It's like with whom the visual dialogue is. It's like what the person that you do the visual dialogue evokes in you. And then where is the energy? Is there a leading person or not? Is there a host of the process, or you are the host of the process? It's a sense of a power. So it's like, I would say, I would need to understand better the context that you do, but might be that there's also this, there should be something in the space of the relation, in the space of a technique, and in the space of a context. And if we check all those layers, and then we can say what should be done next. It's, do you understand? Yeah, it's like, it's quite complex then situation, isn't it? To look at it and take a distance, I would say. If you feel that something's not working, not healing, don't do it. As simple as that.
Okay, I think we have closed. So everyone, so you don't get lost in the next activity, we have half an hour break, and then we come back to this exact room ID and password and link at 11:30. Okay. Thank you, Dagna.
Thank you very much.
See you.
Don't wait for me. I won't be here.
It's lovely to see you, Imola.
Hi, Odisha.
Hello. So nice to see you. I hope
Yes,
to
it
see you
was nice.
later on.
Okay. Bye.